Hiya and welcome to Giant Quest. Today we have a new Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for you. It is TEARLAMENTS, which is one of the new archetypes released in Power of the Elements. So we'll start off with the main deck. So start off with 3 copies of TEARLAMENTS Rhino Heart. So this one is your best normal summon. You can also summon it as it's a warrior by searching it off Reinforcement of the Army and grab it off the field spell. When it's summoned, you Foolish Burial a TEARLAMENTS monster, and then all the other ones apart from this one have the effect of fusion summon using itself by shuffling back into the deck using your hand, grave and field. This one's got a slightly different effect than the others when it's sent to grave by card effect, as you can send a TEARLAMENTS card from hand to special summon it, and then when it's summoned you can get your effects and get going that way. Then we max out on the other ones. We play 3 Shiren, 3 Havness and 3 Merrily. So Shiren is like your extender, so you send a monster, special summoner and mill 3. This one's like a hand trap, so when your opponent activates a monster on the field, you can special summon it mill 3. So you can do that, like if you're going second, it's their first turn, so you can actually get some fusions going on their turn before you've even had a turn. And Merrily, it's when summoned mill 3, so you can either normal summon this if you've got no other way to Rhino Heart, but it's a bit RNG, or you can, if it's in grave, kick Kalos to pop itself, special summon this back, and then you can mill 8 between the 2 of them. And then yeah, again, when they are sent by card effect, they can all fuse in grave. Shiren works nicely because it's also a level 4, so it gets your rank 4 plays going with Rhino Heart. We play 2 copies of King of the Swamp. This you can discard it to add a polymerization, which can be big. Poly will trigger their effects as well because it's a card effect. And it's also an aqua and can be used as like any fusion monster name that you need. You'll usually use this to go into Millenniumize Restrict though, but it being aqua is really good. We play 1 copy of Squamata and 1 copy of Shaddoll Beast. I quite like this ratio because you can use it to deck thin as well. Send the Squamata, then send the Beast, and then put this back in, and then you've then got it again as maybe a bit of follow-up to get more draws in. But this just gives you access to Winder, which you don't get through King of the Swamp because it's a Shaddoll monster, not a named one. We play 1 copy of Fairy Tale Snow, get it to level 4 spellcaster, which can work well as well with Celine in the extra deck. But just this card in the grind is amazing. If you mill this, it's like insane. Be able to summon and book a moon. I'm not too crazy about hand traps this format, but we are still playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom, just hits lots of generic things, and 2 copies of Crow. This is really good in the mirror, and you know, it's kind of a very graveyard heavy format. Play 3 copies of the expansive card. We've got Primeval Planet Pearl Rhino. So this one does a lot of things. It's a Searcher TEARLAMENT monster. It also boosts your fusions and your TEARLAMENT, so pretty much all your stuff is going to get boosted by 500 attack. And also when a TEARLAMENT monster is shuffled back into the deck, you can pop a card as well on the field. So yeah, it does a lot, and it being a field spell as well, you can search it off Terraforming. Play 1 copy of Rota just to get to your Rhino Heart. Playing 3 copies of Triple Tactic Talent, which I'm really liking this format. I think it's a staple at the moment, and it can just really help push through boards. If they hand trap you, for example, and you've still got plays, be able to look at their hand, find out what they're playing, and then shuffle back in one of their key cards is like absolutely cracked, and that comes up really often. Well, yeah, be able to steal or draw cards, you know, really good. 1 copy of Terraforming, 1 copy of Foolish Burial. This is kind of nice, gives you some utility, be able to send certain targets and things. If you've got like a brick, you just got the trap in hand, you can send Rhino and get your play started that way. This card probably needs banning, to be honest, but while it's still here, it's insane. We've got instant fusion, so this gets you to your Kick Kalos on its own, which then opens up all your other plays. So yeah, I don't know why they made Kick Kalos a level 5, but it's just insane. Another power one of is Call by the Grave, just being able to stop your opponent's hand traps or disrupt their grave. We've got 1 copy of Poly. You could play Fusion Substitute as well, or like more copies of Poly or King of the Swamp, but it's working fine at the moment, but you need that for your Chimera, and Chimera is like insane in this deck. Play 3 copies of Dark Ruler. It's just a format for it. You need to have these blowout cards that can just shut boards off so you can play the game. And then for the traps, we play 2 copies of the Meta Noise and 1 copy of the Suliak. So I really, really like this. It's probably one of my favourite traps at the moment. So you need a Tearlament on board, but it'll book a moon and then Foolish Burial. And as you'll come to learn with the deck, when you Foolish Burial, it'll allow you to fuse. So this just gives you extra disruption. I mean, the Foolish Burial alone against some decks will just sort of FTK them if they've got no other follow-up. But then again, being able to fuse into whatever you need, like a negate or a winder or whatever, it's just crazy. And this one, again, you can pop one of your monsters to get a negate. It's continuous as well, and because it's a card effect doing it, you can get some pretty spicy effects and fusions going off. Next we play 2 copies of Kit Kalos. This card is absolutely cracked. The whole deck kind of revolves around it. When it's special summoned, you can either Foolish Burial or add from deck to hand a Tearlaments card. So if you've already got the stuff that you need and you've got the plays already, then being able to search like Meta Noise is usually really, really good. So you can grab this to give you disruption on your opponent's turn and be able to fuse. So you turn it into an hour turn sort of thing. You can also target a monster you control, send it to grave, and special summon a Tearlaments from your hand or graveyard. So usually if you send itself, you'll get an extender, and then when this is sent by card effect, you can mill 5. So it's why I was saying with Merrily, if you have that like in grave or hand, target itself, special the Merrily, and then you can mill 8, which you get some crazy advantage off. Next we play 1 copy of Kaleido Heart. So this one, it does need a Rhino Heart and 2 Aquas, which can also help with the King of the Swamp, because that can act as a Rhino Heart. And then this one, when it's summoned, you can spin a card. This one you just don't want to hit in terms of like popping it or anything, because it'll special summon itself back and then get the spin effect. So it's really hard, for them to remove it. They need to put it back in the extra deck or banish it or something. You don't want to send it to grave. We play 2 copies of Dragos Depelia. This is really good against Sprite as well, because it'll make things level 1. But you use this a lot of the time to recycle your fusions as well, because it needs a fusion, shuffle it back into your extra deck, and it's just another negate. Play 1 copy of Millennium Eyes. We are playing King of the Swamp, so you can make this. So it's like a Cult by the Grave on legs. You just keep attaching their monsters to it, and to be fair, I've had it quite big sometimes if they play into it, but it's just a really good negate. 1 copy of Winder. I have seen some people cutting it, but you can just really punish people with it. I do see the Shadows quite often, to be fair, in grave, so it is live quite a lot of the time. But yeah, just being able to stop them from special summoning, can win games. And if you've got the field spell, like being on 2700, it's really difficult for them to beat over. Play 1 copy of Chimera for the last of our fusions. So you do need to use Poly for this, because it can only use the hand and field, and you have to use at least one from each. So you can't use the Tearlaments monsters' grave effects to shuffle back in. So you have to hard make this, but being able to pop cards non-target and draw, and it being like a 3300 beta can just completely change the game. For our XEs, we play 1 copy of Dweller. So this is really good against the Mirror especially, and there's obviously a lot of meta decks that use the grave. We play 1 copy of Redoer, which has really nice interactions with the deck, because it detaches things as effect, not cost. Say if you've got like Shiren and Rhino Heart, you'll detach the Shiren, and then this will go and then come back in the end phase, but the Shiren, as it was an effect, it'll get its fusion effect off. So this is a real consistent way to be able to fuse on your opponent's turn, and just be able to nick the top card of their deck and disrupt them and things, and just get like really big Zeuses. It's nice. And speaking of the devil, we have a Zeus just to finish it off, just to help clear boards. We are playing Lynx as well. I don't like to play like a really fusion heavy build of the deck, because you can just get punished by D-barrier and things. We are playing 1 of the dark and 1 of the water charmer. So all your Tearlaments apart from Rhino are dark, and we do have a water anyway for Rhino. but I just thought this is a really good meta call in terms of the mirror match against sprite and things branded. Just helps you link climb or, you know, steal things from your opponent's grave to punish them. And we do have the Selene as well, and these are spellcasters, so you can link climb that way. And then Selene, obviously, to link climb into access code, as we are playing some spellcasters in the main deck as well. And this one just to obviously clear fields and push for, you know, 5300 attack. Just finishes games off. And it gives you options if you do get the D barrier flipped on you, so you don't just insta lose. Last of all, we go to the side deck. We are playing 3 copies of Droll Lockbird for the Flunder players. Let's not say what we think of them. Play 3 copies of Lava Golem to help break the sort of multi-negate or unbreakable boards. It's good against like the Sprite matchup or the mirror match as well. And then for the back row hate, we play 2 copies of Cosmic, a copy of Feather Duster, and then this is good, I think, siding and going first or second potentially, depending on the tempo of the game. This provides you with a banish, you know, which is really good. Stop the recursion a lot of the time. And the fact that the discard is on effect, so you'll be able to trigger your Tearlament monster's grave effect as well. And obviously it can recur from grave as a monster. And then we also play 3 copies of Evenly Matched as a blowout and 1 copy of Reboot. So hopefully that clears up all the sort of Eldritch decks and Mystic Mines and things like that anyway. Gives you some ways to play around them. I think the deck, if you go in first, a lot of the time you should win anyway, so it's just good to have some like the blowout cards for the back row or go in second. And obviously we already main in the Dark Ruler no more, because I think you can just afford to have it because the deck's very consistent anyway. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the profile. If you've got any suggestions how you change it, I know there's lots of different ways to play it. You've got branded, you've got dangers, you've got punk. Comment what you're on, and remember to like and subscribe. I will see you again soon for some more TCG content. Thank you very much.